Oh yeah, who's the hunted now? Just gonna be one of those days, huh? Welcome to episode 2. I'm Vadd, and we are continuing our journey through the Hunted, one of ARK's overhaul mods. We've gotten ourselves a simple pistol, literally what it's called, a simple pistol, and we've of course attached a scope onto it. The scope, it's a pretty big game changer, and it's pretty important for us to have that scope. The scope does have a variable zoom, so we'll be able to kind of zoom in on things at quite a distance, and we'll be able to just get a better feel for our surroundings, as well as, you can see here, it gives kind of like the awesome spyglass from some of the previous series on the channel here. We're going to get some detailed information on whatever is in our crosshairs, right in the center of our sights. So, as we can see here, the base has had a few small upgrades. We just built some metal gates, behemoth gates across here. There's no actual doors in them, but there's just, we cross here a lot, and having these giant gates here just gives us a little more direction. I don't want to I want things to spawn in, like we need to go out and get eggs, but by having these gates here, it gives us a little more direction, a little more, I don't want to say survivability, that's not quite right, but it definitely gives us more options as we go across this gap here. Now, all that being said, what's the plan today? Well, we need to go get eggs. You know, we have a couple of tames, but they're just not enough. And we also need to maybe build up our starter base a little bit. Check this out. Every time I try and cross this river, the morella tops over here go absolutely crazy. There used to be a couple more of them. We've kind of thinned the herd, but still, it makes it really hard to go adventure when there's always danger outside of your door. So by getting this scope, it really gives us a pretty big advantage because we are able to recognize and see danger from a distance and then engage with that danger well outside of the range of the danger. Now, of course, we could have gone with a bow and arrow, but the arrows need feathers, and at this point, we can pretty reliably get feathers. It's just easier to go ahead and get the simple pistol for us right now. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean we're indestructible, undefeatable. Check this out. We're always in danger. Did anyone see that Pago coming? Without that zoom, the Pago gets pretty close to us. Without a little bit of constant vigilance almost, it kind of feels like we're always just living in the yellow. You see that Packy over there? I know it's pretty far away, but I guarantee you that Packy's going to be aggressive to us in a couple of minutes if we don't just kind of take it out now. I don't think we were very successful with that. But hey, the simple pistol, get the scope, makes a huge difference for us. Check this out though. Pago actually gives feathers. Literally, as I'm like, man, feathers are so hard to get, we have an opportunity to get feathers. Classic. Now, do you see it? Do you see the nest, right? This is what we need to do. We're kind of at the point now where we need to go and find nests. This is a Pagomastis nest, so we're going to be able to go ahead and grab the egg, and it also has some cocoa drupes as well as some nest fibers. Remember, every time we pick up a nest, it's very important that we destroy the nest once we've picked it up. Failing to do, of course. Seriously, see, here's what we get. If we hadn't, cue the panic. I completely forgot I had a pistol, all right? The spears are going to have to, no, never mind. Well, I've got a boomerang. Okay, we haven't talked about it too much. It's on my toolbar, but, I think the boomerang would be another option. Remember, destroy the net. I can't, where did that Packy come from, right? This is a Pago next, right? We're nowhere near the Packy rhinoceroses, whatever. It's fine. I think it's still alive, though. We really should probably finish off our enemies. Yep, here it comes. All right, boomerang time. Don't believe my boomerang. It still has the spear in it. All right, never mind. There's only one way to finish this, and it's probably back with our pistol. Yeah, this is gonna just be more effective here. Yeah. So, I guess the question is, what does the Packy give us? Well, scaled hide. Suffice to say, it's just dangerous. It's so dangerous. I'm kind of hesitant to take my couple of tames out from the base. Notice here there's a yellow drop, but there's also an RG and a Stego, and we do need the yellow drop. That's actually kind of another thing on our hit list today. We have to get more drops. We need to go out and farm these drops. Why? Well, they have the materials in it. We need the craft saddles. It doesn't matter if we steal an egg if we can't ride it. We need the saddles, and to make the saddles, we need the implants, and one of the most sure guaranteed starter ways to get the implants are from these drops. Failing to harvest the corpses, failing to get these drops really is going to impede your progress. It's a lot. It's just, I know it sounds like only a couple of things, right? Get an egg, get an implant. It is. On paper, it's very simple, right? The steps are pretty clear on how you get from point A to point B. You need the implants to make the saddles to ride the tames, which you need the eggs. You gotta have, like, that all makes sense. Like, everyone's with me there, right? Not a long comment if you're not. Listen, bottom line, we're gonna try and build something on this side of the river. We really cross here quite a lot just to get that drop. And there's usually some nest a little further up here, but we don't want to like block off too much because then nests don't spawn in. So one of the biggest struggles we're having right now is, okay, we finally kind of got our starter base location, not our final, but our starter base location. We've kind of built up, we've hatched. Is this a suspicious plant? Is it just me or is this plant kind of suspicious? Is this a nest? There's no eggs. I can't interact with it. Okay, well, it looks suspicious. Hey, we really need to... Okay, seriously, is that RG just gonna go right? We have all of our tames out right now. Turn around, RG. We're gonna open fire if you don't. There's danger in there. Spikes everywhere. Man, if the RG just went a little farther, they hit our spikes. Oh my goodness. This is what I'm saying. Like, all of our tames are just hanging out over there. I'm not gonna say they're defenseless, but versus that RG, like the parasaur and the turtle and the iguanodon are not gonna fare well, I don't think. Listen, we need to... Okay, look. We put some defensive spikes here because the Bronto came over, and I'm probably going to redo all of them off camera. The metal spikes, by the way, with that spike mod, if you don't put them pretty far apart, you cannot walk between them the same way you can with the stone ones. Really kind of threw me off. We really need to go out and get some eggs. Failing to have eggs and failing to hatch eggs, it's a problem. Like, it is a real problem for us right now. It's a real struggle because every time we go out to do something, we're always kind of just barely surviving. I added a mod. It's in the mod list. The mod list is in the description. It's a bridge mod. I don't think this will make us too overpowered, but check this out. I just kind of wanted to show it. You place the bridge on one point, then you kind of pick point number 2, and assuming it's within a reasonable distance, which is fairly far as we can cross this entire stretch of river, then we're going to have the opportunity here to go ahead and place down a bridge. Then you can kind of see here, we have this lovely ghost bridge. I think the bridges are kind of expensive, but I mean, they're pretty cool. So I definitely would consider checking this one out, but we can also kind of change the size of the bridge. We can change, you know, if it curves up, curves. It's a really fun mod. I enjoy it. It's just going to save us some time. And the other issue we have is every time we've tried to cross this river, just ignoring the fact us with our tames. Remember there was a Spino down here? Remember there was a Baryonyx down here? You remember there's piranhas? Like, we have a turtle, an Iguanodon, and a parasaur. Come on, ARK players. You know that those are not top tier, even mid tier teams. I'm not saying they're not respectable, okay? They're fine for what they do, but suffice to say, when we swim across these waters, it's kind of brutal. By the time we get across, we're usually kind of low on health. And remember, in the Hunted mod, by the way, I did name the turtle Pasha like Tasha asked. Then I realized that Tasha asked for Tasha. So now we have one turtle named Pasha and a parasaur named Tasha. And it works out in my head, okay? Hey, part of why we picked this base location, look, there's a drop, a loot drop that comes over here. There's a second loot drop that comes over here, those big beacons, right? And there's a third one kind of around the corner. So kind of our basic flow here is we're kind of keeping an eye out for eggs, still kind of working on our starter bases. Every time we walk out the base, we are just begging for a beacon from the sky gods. We really need to go out and get more implants. And in addition, we also kind of need to work on kibble. You know, we can use vanilla kibble. I added in this kibble pot. Of course, it's in the mod list, which is in the description. Don't comment and ask me about the mod list. But you can put metal into this pot and it makes kibble. Now you say, but Vadd, we could just make regular kibble. You're right, you can, but you need eggs. You see the problem here? We don't have any eggs. We don't have a breeding pair of anything. I know, you can make kibble not using a fertilized egg, but where we're at right now, not having access to eggs, we don't have access to kibble. Why does kibble matter? Well, there's a couple of things we can do with kibble that we can't do otherwise. And that being said, check this out. We're going to go on the Iguanodon. We haven't named this one, so we're not too emotionally invested, but we did get some really good colors. So if we lose our Iguanodon, we're going to be a little bit sad. All that being said, we are needing to go and get some more eggs. We kind of have a safe way across the river. We've been trying to farm the beacons when we can. However, we just couldn't even get past the spikes without being instantly attacked by a couple of things. Now, with an Iguanodon, they do have a pretty good sprint. We also have a jump. We can attack things. We can go out and harvest things. Remember, the Iguanodons love to eat seeds because, of course, why would we have a tame that wouldn't, have some reasonable food? Let's not talk about that right now. However, it's time. We need to go a little further out from our base. I'm kind of hoping that by being on an Iguanodon, things aren't going to be as angry to us. Never mind. I really was hoping that, I get it, you're on foot, so things come and attack you, but we're an Iguanodon. When the Iguanodons are out here in the wild, nothing's aggressive towards them. Okay, check out these spikes. I don't know if this will work, but, oh, it works perfect. Okay, that might have worked far too well. Well, now you know. Just put up spikes and hide. This is the hunted. Who's hunted now? Okay, so I was really hoping that by being on this Iguanodon, some of these other herbivores would kind of respect us, as long as we don't get too close to their nest, which of course makes me wonder, is there a nest around? I haven't seen one. I've cleared a lot of this area out. Look here, we're doing about 70 damage. Morellotop's sending us for about 20 damage, but between the two Morellotops that are here and the third over there on the side, if they ganged up on us, we're probably losing our tame. It's just not a good place to be. So, there's just, hey, look at it. You see that over there? Yeah. Maybe you don't. All right. Well, there's just so much you have to do. There's so much you have to do that as a solo player, this mod can feel really overwhelming. Like right now, there's no beacons, and there's also no egg nest in anywhere in our vicinity. Not where the Quetzals were, not across the way. So we're going actually pretty far from base to try and find them. Now, the water's pretty quiet right now, which makes me kind of concerned that there's some larger predator that's caused the waters to be so quiet that we haven't... Okay. So looks like that Triceratops either didn't see us or isn't aggressive, maybe? If we're a little lucky. There's a Stego. Normally they're aggressive, but hey, check this out. So there must be a Pachyrhinoceros nest around, as there's a little pack. Mistakes have been made. Okay, so we got off our tame, and our tame is under attack, and we're under attack. Okay. So this is problematic for kind of a lot of reasons. Number one, we're bleeding. Remember, in the hunted, your health doesn't regenerate the same way. Now we did kind of mitigate some of that by bringing the no durability armor mod, which, as you can see here, we would have died by now. We would be absolutely dead without that armor by now, but we can't shoot our bullet underwater, and we kind of need to get back to our Iguanodon. But remember, our Iguanodon's outnumbered. You can see there's two Triceratops and a Stego. I haven't even mentioned the fact that when we hatched the Iguanodon, it was level 1. Remember, I took the time to level it up, so we had a top level Iguanodon. That way, as we go out and explore, we have better chance at surviving. And now we're kind of stuck here, where we have one trike kind of bullying us, and we can't really get back to our Iguanodon. I really think if we tried to just face tank the trike, this Triceratops would take us down. Now, with the simple pistol, we only get 6 shots, which is great, but this is some of the most expensive ammo in all of ARK. Ignoring the level cost to make it, and ignoring the workbenches or fuel those benches need to use them. You're gonna need stone and flint to make spark powder, and then you're gonna need wood to get the charcoal, and then you're gonna need that charcoal and that spark powder to make the gunpowder, and then to make the other half of the bullet. Great, our Iguanodon's dead. Awesome, this has been so successful. So then in addition, we got to go get metal ore, smelted down the metal ingots, and then we can then take the metal ingots and that gunpowder we made to make one simple bullet for our simple pistol. Yeah, it's like one of the most ridiculously expensive things you can shoot in ARK, especially early on. The next couple of bullets we can get for slightly better weapons are all cheaper. It's going to take 6 pieces of that gunpowder and 1 metal ingot for every shot. We only get 6 shots before we have to reload. It's not a bad starter weapon. It's definitely better than a bow and arrow. It's definitely better than the boomerang, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. It's definitely better than, having to run away all the time, but we just, this is bad. Again, if we didn't have the no durability armor, we're dead here. There's no way we survive this. And just, Oh man, we need the saddle, right? We're so invested in trying to get these saddles made that we can't afford to lose the saddle, but it's still kind of a loss because if we don't have another Iguanodon to hatch, then the saddle is kind of useless. I don't know if we can downgrade it. I'll have to see if we can do that. But as far as I know, the Iguanodon saddle is stuck for Iguanodons. So we're not going to even be able to use the saddle for other tames, but still the saddles are a pretty big investment for us right now. So we've got to go back and get it, but it kind of hurts to see there's no nest, right? Without a nest, there's no eggs. I mean, look how they massacre my boy. I know it was a lady. Just deal with the Godfather quotes. Again, I just want to reiterate this fact. You got to put points in the crafting speed. I've been speeding these up for you because they're just brutally long and I don't want to watch them twice, but suffice to say, to skin these animals, to get the things off the corpse here on the wild beast you take down, it takes forever. And every time you're doing this, you're kind of stuck with your pants down. Sure, you can look around sometimes, but until you get through the whole animation to skin the animal, until you have enough points in the crafting, you're stuck in this screen, and this is the only way to get the hide. If I pull up my hatchet or my pick, I'm not going to get the hide. I'm trying to put in perspective here for you how brutal the early game is, and I feel like it's just the eternal early game. Like, our base is pretty built up, we just don't have any tames. We have a better weapon, we have some really good armor, but until we find a nest, we're kind of stuck where we are. Now, there's been what, 2, 3, 4 Triceratops around here? Here comes another. There must be a trike nest, right? We have to have somehow stumbled onto a Triceratops nest. You know why we came across here? I mentioned it just a second ago. Ooh, you see that? And you probably couldn't. Way across the water here, there's a kangaroo. We really want to grab one of the ARK kangaroos. This would be a really good kind of, I think they're officially called Procoptodons, right? They're a kangaroo, right? Little joeys. You know, we really want it. We really want one of those. Why? Well, because it's something we can put a saddle on. It's got a there it is. Do you see it? This is the whole reason we came across here. Not for the trikes, but to try and get one of the roos. And it's just not going to happen. You know what? The only thing this experience needs right now? The piranhas. Wouldn't that make this better? If you had to flip a coin and say, would this be better with piranhas? The answer is no, it wouldn't. So, why do we want a Procoptodon? Well, because you can passive tame them as long as you have kibble, which you need eggs for, which is why we added the kibble for metal rod, because we kibble for metal pot, because we don't have any eggs. However, if we can get one of these roos, well, these little kangaroos, we can definitely make a saddle for them. That's kind of how we're kind of picking what we're trying to get. That being said, I thought there must be a trike nest around here. Maybe it was hiding. I just don't know what I'm looking for at this point. It's kind of another hurdle. It's not immediately obvious when you get into the mod is you're going to spend so much time looking for nests, and then all of a sudden you're going to find a bunch or you're not, right? And we just don't know what they look like. We did find this floating grass, which is classic ARK. I don't know what this is or why it is. It made me think maybe there's a nest, maybe there's, a bunch of Pachyrhinos around here. I couldn't even find their nest. The whole thing that set off this cataclysmic event, how we lost our Iguanodon, it's because of these Pachyrhinos. We saw a little baby Pachyrhino and we had to check it out. And now we're here. We're just, I guess, taking out the parents. This is just tragic. This is just tragedy. Again, we're going to, of course, skin every corpse we can, and we're still just looking for the nest. And I got to tell you, spoilers, there's no nest here. I cleared out this whole zone. I was here so long, things were respawning, and to add insult to injury, just to put the icing on the cake, just for a little bit of frosting, we found a Phiomia. That's right, they finally moved out of the swamp. They heard me. This is a much nicer neighborhood. Maybe you like the swamp and that's cool, but that insult to injury, we also managed to aggro another Triceratops from forever away. We were on maximum zoom here, and this thing just runs forever to get us. We have enough time to unload our entire clip, reload, and of course, fire again. Like, these Triceratops are aggressive to us at a distance through the trees. We are behind trees, in bushes, and they are openly attacking us. This is just tough. It's just tough. There's no other word to describe it. Now, at this point, we really need to kind of reset, go back to base, and I'm too afraid to take out the Pashas, the Tashas, the twins over there. I don't want to lose them. I'm not ready to be hurt again, but we do need to find the nest. And we do need to get more eggs. And we're kind of exactly where we were, except we notice that there's an Allosaurus, right? Well, where there's one, there's usually two. Very rarely in the hunted outside of these Brontos am I experiencing finding just one creature running around. They seem to come in groups. You know, there's this herd, this group mentality, this teamwork thing, and I really like it. I really enjoy spending time in the hunted mod and seeing the different dinosaur behaviors. We are literally just up the hill from where we cleared out all of that bottom. All that down there, we chopped every tree, pulled every branch, and we're just up the hill because look at this. Do you see it? It's so small. They're hard to see, but let me just zoom in here a little bit. There it is. Level 1. Remember, all the babies are level 1. So losing our Iguanodon that we had leveled up is kind of a big setback for a lot of reasons, but we can passive tame pretty much every baby you see. You just need the kibble. Right now I have kibble from a different mod than the one I showed you earlier. I tried a different kibble mod. It didn't work. I'm not even going to talk about it because it doesn't work. The one I linked in the mod list does work. So we could have tamed this. Oh no, we're in the hunting grounds. Did you see it? Did you see them turn and run right towards us? We could have tamed this little baby Allosaurus, but we don't have the kibble we need. It's not that that yellow kibble doesn't work on them. It's literally like a modded kibble, and I didn't realize it. It was my mistake for showing up unprepared. However, now we know, right? There's some Allosauruses up there. Notice we did survive an initial bite from an Allosaurus. You know, this no durability armor, it makes a pretty big difference in our ability to try and make a play on something. I think we're going to go ahead and try and get back up there. I think part of why we got knocked all the way across the bay wasn't so much our jump, but the Allosaurus smack. And even the Ankies are mad. They're like, get out of here. They're just the worst. Okay, so let's see if we can get some better kibble. You know, the kibble I showed earlier. And we're going to head back over. And when we get there, if we can just tame that Allosaurus, it saves so many problems for us. Remember, we've been kind of trying to pick up the tiny eggs. Why? Because that's what we can hatch. That's what we can build a saddle for. You know, this whole time the Relatops had a nest here. Look, that's what this weird bush is. That's a nest. There was one where we were building earlier, and I was like, is this a weird bush? I don't see any eggs on it, but it is a nest. So you kind of understand their behavior. Even the Pteranodons after us, like, you just feel so hunted. I know it's called the Hunted mod. I'm not trying to make a play on words or a joke here. Everything is just always hunting us, and it's brutal. It's just so brutal. So, if we can tame with some of the kibble one of the young ones, we won't have to get the egg or hatch the egg. We will still have to raise the little one. But hey, you know, when you get an egg, you have to do that same process still. We do need, of course, get back over there. We could have taken our tames out, but the turtle's not nearly as fast as the parasaur. And the parasaur does its best, but it's just not worth risking our two tames. They're pretty good gatherers for us right now, and I'd rather keep it that way. Now, notice again in the bottom right corner, we're in the Allosaurus nesting grounds. We pull up the info, it'll say we're being actively hunted. Do you see it? It's right in front of us. They're just so small. If we can sneak up on this, never mind. Abort mission. Abort mission. So like right there, I think without our armor, we're dead. I think we just die. I don't think there's any chance of surviving that. However, we're going to get a second try. A redemption moment. How many Allosauruses come with the nest? You know, I don't have like an easy way of counting that, but there's one on our left. We haven't seen that one before. I don't know if that one below us is a new color, but there's got to be at least somewhere in between 6 and 8, unless there's more than one nest. I think all in all, if we can just give the little baby a kibble, it would be good. Some early tames other than this surprise Allosaurus, which we just weren't. Hey, here it is. Come here, come here. There we go. Perfect. Tamed. We're going to go ahead and soul ball it because there's no way this thing following us back to base has any hope of surviving. Okay, there must still be a nest around here. It shows we're not in the Allosaurus hunting grounds. However, okay, now we're back in the grounds. There's got to be a nest around here. Jugbug, not a nest. It's okay. Equiuses. See the horses? These would be absolute fantastic starter tames. However, they're only passive tames. There's no nest for the Equius. You want a horse? You need to passive tame it. And it even still loses yeah, it's fine. But they have to be tamed with kibble. You can't bring the salvo root, the carrots, etc. You have to tame them with kibble. But kind of our hit list, we kind of didn't have success getting the kangaroo. We have the surprise Allosaurus, but the Equius is on our list of tames we really are kind of looking out for, and now they're everywhere. We're just getting run over by wild horses. I was trying to tame them, but I think they're panicking. You can't pass them. Oh, there it is. You see the Allosaurus? I guess it's stuck on that tree. I think they can knock down trees. We'll just give it a pop shot. Scare it off if we can. You know, the Equius really is another tame that if we could get our hands on, would be a terror bird. Really? Do you live around here? Sir, please leave us alone. Oh, look. 1 nest, 2 nest. How many nests are up here? No. We just don't want to fight him. We will if we have to, though. You know, it's times like this that we remember how grateful we are for finding a nest. Seriously, we've been looking all over for these nests. We were literally 5 foundations off this cliff, and we searched that entire area. We checked all around our base. I'm not going to tell you how many hours I've been looking for eggs at this point, but the fact that we just got over this cliff edge, just 1 tree further, just a couple of foundations away, and there's clearly 2 nests, and we just nailed down 2 of the kibble passive tames with a baby Allosaurus and that Equius. Like, it all paid off all of a sudden. All of a sudden, it's a whole different game. And look at this. It's a parasaur nest, right? I have no idea how this got here. I haven't seen a single parasaur up here. My best guess is the other nest. Oh, look, a third or a second nest, another nest, right? Is this crazy? They're all just right here. This Allosaurus nest, notice the eggs are gargantuan. We can't hatch those. We don't have the capabilities to make saddles for them. So on one hand, this is an awesome find. On the other hand, it's kind of not as helpful as it could be, but by destroying the nest, it still shows we're in the Allosaurus hunting grounds. I don't know if that means there's another nest around here, or if it just means we're being hunted until we die, or if the Allosaurus has died, it'll go away. I'm not sure. However, I think the Allosaurus ate all the parasaurs. That's why I was just kind of the unguarded parasaur nest. And I also think that by being on top of this cliff, kind of this peninsula almost, where it's kind of has 3 cliff edges, I think things spawned in and just ran off the edge, because it's surprisingly quiet up here. You know, after we almost got eaten by a couple of Allosauruses, but they all went downhill. I mean that in the best way. So, we have an Equius. We've got an Allosaurus. We do need to raise them up. We do need to talk about saddles. But look down here. Remember, dino corpses are valuable. We haven't killed an Allosaurus yet, and this would be an opportunity to check out some of the loot we can get. And there's some Pachyrhinoceroses. I've been messing up the names on these other trikes and the Pachys and the Pachyrhinoceroses. I've been calling them hey, check this out. Another Allosaurus. So, I don't know if when a nest drops, if after the nest... Okay, now we have 2 Allosauruses. Awesome. We can't ride them yet, but maybe we could tame them up and, you know, whistle them to attack something. I don't know. You know, just look. See how tiny this is? It's smaller than the grass. I mean, they look fantastic. This is super fun. Can you even see that? Can you see that at all right now? I mean, they're impossibly small. You really have to be just looking all the time. Not just for danger, because we're always being hunted, but for an opportunity to passive tame. From now on, we can't leave the base without kibble. There's just too many missed opportunities otherwise. Obviously, a Gallimimus is fairly useless, but hey, it's still a tame that we didn't have before. Now, another nest. You've got to be kidding me. Like, where were all these nests before? Iguanodon nest. Okay. I mean, we've literally been looking for hours, and now we have all these nests. It's just wild. I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe this is just where they spawn, and if I come back up here, you know, in a couple of days, then we'll have a bunch of nests. But like I said in episode 1, this is the most uneventful Iguanodon nest pickup there can be. We're going to make sure we destroy the nest. We're going to definitely come back up here and check again sometime in the future if there's more nests spawning in. Overall, it's so quiet up here. Once we scared off the Allosauruses, right? Check this out. Another nest. Another Iguanodon and a Carno. Not optimal. This Carno is not very fast, though. I'm not sure what level it is, but it needs to put some points in the movement speed. I don't know what it's going to catch, but not us. I mean, maybe it will if we hold still. Whoa. Okay. So there must be a Carno nest around here. Remember, the nests come in first, other than, you know, the Equises, they don't have nests, things like that. But the nests spawn in, and then the babies, and then the adults. Do you see it? The kangaroo, and another nest. We literally just walked through here a minute ago. There was no parasaur nest here. I don't see any parasaurs here. However, we've now are leaving here with a parasaur egg and a Iguanodon egg. We have all those nest materials. I've been trying to keep on screen when we're destroying nest and we're checking out the nest. And here's another one. What the materials we're getting from these nests are, because it's one of the big, okay, so a couple of Allosauruses are down here just cleaning shop. We've basically made a big circle at this point, and we want to check out this nest, and we also want to go ahead and check out the Allosaurus. Now, visually, this nest has eggs on top of it, and we can get some rare wood, some clay. We're going to destroy it. This is a Pachyrhino nest, but there's no egg for me to pick up. Normally, I kind of like stare at the middle of the nest and then kind of like right above where an egg might hover, and just nothing. However, I'm kind of hoping that if we destroy the nest, we might find an egg. You know, this is a big part of the mod, trying to get these eggs, and the fact that, oh, there it is, it's under the nest. The fact that we're able to, you know, these nests are spawning almost undefended. They're not. Like, there's a whole bunch of Pachyrhinoceros. Well, there were before the Allosauruses moved in. Hey, let's see what we can get from this corpse. So we can get allo brain, as well as some armored plates and some scaled hide. Very nice. Now, I'm trying to keep on screen all the times we get a corpse, we get a nest, because you need to see this loot. It's a part of the learning. Another nest. Wow. It's part of the learning curve. You need to find these materials, and they're not easy to find. The time it's taken us to find this is just extraordinary. And all of a sudden, when it rains, it pours, we are just drowning in materials, in eggs, in tames. It's just wild. You know, the nests weren't undefended. There were a bunch of Pachyrhinos here, but there's an Allosaurus level 45 and level 145. You can see a little glow around them, so they're mate boosted. I mean, they just destroy these Pachys. We're going to take them out. I mean, we have our variable zoom here on our pistol. It's a pretty long shot, but I mean, if we can take it out from a distance, other options to climb the cliff and run away, but I think they're a little damaged. I think this is an opportunity for us to get some more Allosaurus parts when we need to take advantage of that. There's no way if we come out here with our turtle or our parasaur, we could take down these Allosauruses. Like, they just don't do enough. We just die. It just, you have to rely on yourself for so long, and this is the way we win. You know, maybe this doesn't feel very hunted to you. You're like, man, he's just running around in metal armor with guns. Yes, I only have a parasaur and a turtle. I know. We just tamed an Aqueous. We need to raise some Allosauruses. We do have an Iguanodon again. You know, they all have to get raised. We're almost back to square one. Now, we're going to make sure we harvest as many corpses as we can. And why not just tame a Pachyrhino? Again, I don't think we can put a saddle on this. The saddle is going to need implants we might not have yet, and no materials we haven't gathered yet. However, we are going to take advantage of this opportunity. You know, these Allosauruses just massacred the Pachyrhinoceroses, and the Pachys did a good job of damaging the Allosauruses where we could get them in bullet range. The simple pistol has a couple of drawbacks. It only has 6 shots. I think the Trikes had better loot on them than the Pachyrhinos. Huh. You know, that only having 6 shots can make it a little bit tight sometimes, but all in all, we are going to finish harvesting these corpses and make our way out of here. If we can get back to base without dying, I'll call this just the ultimate victory. We've raided so many nests, and we might as well just, I mean, you don't have anyone. You can come home with us. Yeah, I mean, everyone else is kind of dead. Even your aggressors are dead. So, 2 Pachyrhinos, 1 Allosaurus, 1 Equius, Iguanodon eggs, Parasaur eggs. Like, oh, do you see it? Did you see it? Like, they're so small. They're surprisingly fast. There it is. It's right there. In a second Allosaurus. Why not, right? You know, having that kibble, being able to passive tame them is just a huge deal. I still came over here for these kangaroos, and now they're just mocking me. Once we got here, we couldn't find one, and here they are, just all grown up, just wanting to, and a trike. Of course, I don't know where these trikes come from, but they absolutely borked this Allosaurus. It's a technical term, just destroyed beyond belief. Okay. This has been wildly successful in the span of just under an hour, right? Hours looking for eggs, hours clearing things out. Like, a lot of time to then all of a sudden just run into this bounty. And I almost feel like it was too easy. Like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I'm waiting for the other problem to happen. And so far, it's just smooth sailing. Now, I don't think it's necessarily going to stay this way, being ARK and being the hunted, but if there's one thing I know, it's that we can always embarrass ourselves with a parachute into the spikes. We actually can't walk through these. I placed them a little too close together, but we have gotten slightly better with the grapple in the relative near future. So it's a little embarrassing that after such a victory, we kind of trapped ourselves. But hey, we're back. We're in the safety of our spikes. We can just run across the river. No Spinos, Sarcos, Baryonyxes, Piranhas. Just run back to base, and it's all gonna go okay. Now, we need to hatch eggs. We need to make saddles. We need to raise things. Like the work has not stopped. We aren't necessarily being directly hunted right now, but in the saddle table, remember, we need to get the implants. We need to reactivate the implants to make the basic saddle. And then once we've made that saddle, only then can we form that saddle to our tame. This time we're going to shape it for our horse, the Equus. Part of what makes that Equus a great starting tame, if you can get your hands on one, is not only that the saddle's this base tier, it's really easy to get because we have easy access to the blood packs like we talked about in episode 1. But in addition, remember, you don't have to have a saddle to ride an Equus. Now, granted, they're maybe not the best harvesters, they're not the best fighters, but they certainly get around the map a lot better than we do on our own 2 legs. I mean, we do fine, okay, but we're not a horse. We don't have 4 legs. Now, again, in Equus, that back kick actually does toper damage. In Vanilla Ark, you can, trank things out with it. It's not optimal, but it's possible. Now, we still want to put a saddle on our Equus, less for the style points and more because it has a little armor in it. It's worth having that little bit of armor. Now, in addition, not being able to, and we missed the bridge. Awesome. Maybe we put too many points in the movement speed, but we definitely get around the map just a lot faster on the Equus. And it's a great point A to point B mount, and it's not a bad nest raider. Let's see if we can just dodge this trike, and easy. That's it. We just ran straight past him. We already know Stego's gonna be bad. We're just gonna run by him. No problem. It's just, this is a huge game changer. And even if we didn't have the saddle, oh look, 2 more nests. You have to be kidding me. We've been looking all over for these nests. Not needing to stun things out with our back kick is like a slight nerf to the Equus's capabilities. But the added, do you see it over there? They're so small. We're gonna run over and tame that. The Ovis, okay? Ovises are awesome because once we raise them up, we're not going to ride them. We're not going to eat them. We're going to get a resource from them. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we raise the Ovis up. But if you see an Ovis, tame it. They're not going to have nest, but they are going to be a passive tame. The Equus is a game changer. Being able to outrun things, being able to kind of raid a nest. Now, I saw the Rex kind of mucking about around here, and I also saw a nest. And I don't know what a Rex nest looks like, but I do know that we are just wicked fast. There's no way this Rex ever gets to us. Like, we're just so fast. It's awesome. Like, this, you just feel so powerful all of a sudden. After spending so much time just walking around on your feet, I think the Rex is chasing those wolves. That was a dire wolf, okay? Which makes me think maybe it's a dire wolf nest. I don't know. I'm not sure if they have a nest or not. I don't think they lay eggs, so I don't think they should, but we do want this nest, and if we can just see, I don't know where the Rex is going. Yeah, it looks like the Rex is definitely chasing the wolves. So, this is in RG nest. Oh, notice again, gargantuan eggs, and we can get unusual blue gems, and some nest feathers. We can't hatch those gargantuan eggs yet. That's okay, but we always destroy the nest. Not a Rex, not a direwolf, but this is fantastic. The best flower we can get right now. Notice that nest, the rock was a part of it, it seemed. So when we're looking for these RG nests, I think we might have found another around here. It seems they might have a rock that's kind of a part of them, which is really cool. But there's also a Giga just across the way over here. We did just grab an RG egg. Like, I know this is the episode we raid those nests, and we're going to keep that up. But today's been a real game changer as far as being able to get our hands on more eggs. And you probably can't see it because it's just over this hill. There's a lot of RGs down here. And I don't know if carrying an egg makes them more aggressive to us, but there's no way we get down there unless we just run straight, grab the egg, and get out of there. But since there's an Ovis behind us, we're going to tame this because something's going to eat an Ovis. I'm told they're delicious, okay? I haven't tried one myself, but what can I say? Another Ovis for our group. What are we going to do? Well, I don't want to lose our horse. It does need a name. This is a great time to comment. What should we name the horse? So we can stop calling it the Equus, the horse. It kind of has some fun zebra stripes. I don't know if it'll keep those colors. Who knows? However, if there's a Giga, a Giga nest over here we could raid. Sounds pretty good. I just see one Giga over here. So it's kind of off in the distance. I don't know where they put down their nest. And maybe there's one kind of coming behind me right now. I'm also not sure about that. However, if we can get a Giga Egg, we can't hatch a Rowdy yet, be a pretty big game changer. Seems like we did make one RG mad. It really feels like all of a sudden things just got so easy. You know, if we can take down this RG, like, we're officially king. You know, having the armor, having the weapon really makes a big difference. I know it's expensive. It's a tough thing to get into. But once we get there, I almost feel like, is it over? Like, are we just too strong? Can we just raid any nest at will? You know, I feel like maybe we should bring some weaker armor. You know, maybe, oh, okay. Maybe there's another RG after us. Maybe because we're carrying the, oh, wow, all the, okay. So, is that 3? I think there's 3 RGs in there. Maybe just 2. Kind of grouped up on me. We're hitting them pretty hard, but our days are numbered. I think this fight's against us. We only have 6 shots. Looks like we're going to need more than 6 shots apiece. We're not going to find a Giga Nest, but if we can take down the RGs, they do have good loot. However, remember in the Hunted, our health doesn't regen the same way. We're reloading and we're dead. This is not, I mean, maybe we're not on top of the world. Maybe we're not undefeatable, but maybe it's time for a new outfit. What do you think? I think it is. This is strictly just cosmetic. We're going to go ahead and put down this lovely box, and this box is going to have inside of it some Raptor Wrangler armor, some kind of adventure outfit. I feel a little bored walking around the metal flak. I've been looking at this for hours. You've been looking at it for 1 or 2. Listen, it's still the flak armor. This is just a cosmetic. Yes, it's a mod. Yes, it's in the mod list. But instead of this metal flak, we have kind of this fancy Indiana Jones hat and these lovely kind of a wristwatch and a vest and some jeans and a little necktie. This is just more fun for me. I hope you enjoy the outfit. Go ahead and try it out. It's a nice change of pace. It's flak, okay? We have that metal armor underneath. Nothing's changed. It's just a visual change. Nobody panic. Now, one thing in the Hunted we haven't seen yet are these bonfires. And when I first saw these, I thought, these are awesome. And as I thought more about them, I went, but what will I ever use them for? Yes, you can make these bonfires. You only have to be level 15. And they are supposed to scare away big predators, okay? Everyone follow that, right? They're supposed to scare them away, keep them away, no matter how big they are. I think visually, these nice little stacks of wood here, they look great. I think they look awesome. Now, they do degrade. They do cost oil in order to get them to do the fire thing. The fire animation looks fantastic. I haven't found a good way to test these yet to see how well they work. Maybe I'll set up a wall of flames and get something to chase me and run through it. Probably not, but here they are. I wanted to show you it's a thing. They're supposed to kind of keep things away from you. So if you don't have your base built up very yet, you're not in a good location, but you happen to have oil and you happen to have so many extra resources, you don't mind a degrading fire. I can't think of a situation where I really would want to use these. I'm not saying they don't have a use. Maybe you have a use for them. Comment, let me know. What do you like using them for? But otherwise, I want to show you they're a thing, but I'm not really going to mess with them very much. I'd rather use my oil in the gasoline for a generator or something. I don't know. Maybe you love the fires. I think they're cool. They're visually fun. We do need to try and get a dolphin, the ARK dolphins, and they really just don't spawn back here. I've gotten some predators that have come down this way, but see this little corner here and there, and there's like a little sandbar in between them. There's like always fins kind of out that way. So we're going to make our way down the shore. We're going to try and tame that ARK dolphin. I did want to show you just again how we get around the map a lot. It's with those reusable grapples and reusable parachutes. We pretty much just spider hop our way around. It doesn't always work, as you can see, but we're not necessarily the best grappler you've ever seen, you know? So this is how we get around. We stay kind of high enough that most things on the ground ignore us. We do have some issue with flyers from time to time, but unless there's a nest, most of the flyers, as far as Pteranodons go, they kind of leave us alone. There's some Pteranodons on our left, but they're actually flying away from us, so there's not a nest. I was worried as we came up here that maybe there was a nest, because I saw quite a large group of them, but no nest. Now, why the dolphin, right? Why are we trying to get our hands on a dolphin? Well, okay, that parasaur really scared me. It's something we can make a saddle for. Okay, I wanted to show you this too. This is how we spend like a lot of our time. I cut 99% of this out. We spend our time like this. Why are the parasaurs panicking? We're hiding, okay? Why are we hiding? Because we don't know why the parasaurs are panicking. We don't know what caused them to panic. Could have been anything. Maybe they're scared of each other. But right now, our best defense is to not be a target. And if we move towards the water, maybe we're moving towards the predator. If we move towards the parasaurs, maybe we also move towards the predator. So we're just going to hide. And, you know, good things come to those who work for it. And sometimes good things come to those who wait. And in this scenario, we got a little lucky. I don't know what that Megalodon was doing, but we're going to take complete advantage of this opportunity. We're trying to get a dolphin because we can make a saddle for it. These Megalodons have a saddle that is just beyond us right now. We don't have the implants or the resources to reactivate the implants to make the saddles. Notice the shagreen we're getting and the shark tooth. Remember, you need metal tools. Ignoring the metal tools for the moment, that shark tooth is red. The red items seem to... Oh, awesome. How long has this Allosaurus been chasing us? Like, the Allosaurus's nest in my time were almost 3 real-world days ago and several hours of gameplay. Like we haven't been near an Allosaurus in a long time. Oh, poor Allosaurus. It must be just Parasaurs. Again, I don't know why these Parasaurs are panicking, but it makes me think they're about to attack me. They're not. They're just panicking. So red items do, and the blue items here, they do require metal tools, but the red items seem to all be things that we want to have to reactivate implants. The blue items, that shagreen we got from the Megalodon, that's a substitute for organic polymer. I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's tough. It's tough to play the hunted, and part of what makes it so tough is resources have changed, and you just don't know how to get things the same way anymore. As an example, can you see them just down there? I don't see any dolphins or any Megalodons for the moment, so it seems fairly safe, which is kind of a foolish thought, but we can harvest some silica pearls, right? Well, when we go to pick these up, we also got prime fish meat. That's the overhaul mod in effect. I love it. I love we got some prime fish meat. No complaints here, but check this out. A lead sickness. I saw a piranha coming our way, but apparently the lead sickness in the hunted mod not only have a vengeance versus rafts, but they also don't like us personally. We won't take it personally. We don't know them. They don't know us. We're all strangers here, okay? But listen, the lead sickness was definitely coming straight at us aggressive. Now, in vanilla ARK, they only spawn in at level 1. So right now, the wheels in my head are turning. Can we fight this thing? At level 1, it can't have that much health. And we definitely have more maneuverability. We've put ludicrous stats in the melee just for an opportunity to spear things to death. Our pistol doesn't work underwater, but they do turn around kind of long. And the answer is yes. We do have a strong possibility we can take down the lead sickness. The problem is, while we fight underwater, we're not only managing our health and our oxygen and our stamina, but we can come out of the water and we can end up in a position we don't want to be in. There was a Megalodon coming in behind us, so of course we left the water, but then we came out of the water by these Stegosauruses. Like, there's no good scenario here for us. Any way you swing it, we are just hunted and in danger. Now, I don't know, again, what happened here. I turned my back for 2 seconds and something just gets borked beyond belief, but we definitely want to check that out. Check out the loot again on the Stegosauruses. I'm trying to show you as much of the corpses as I possibly can. If I pick it up, you're going to see it, because did you know that they had armored plates? You could have guessed. Did you know it had keratin? Until you play the mod, it's not obvious. Now, at this point, can you see the Megalodon? Like, I think we might be able to fight it. I'm not the best spear thrower in the business. I think I'm average at best, okay? But I can step out of the water, and the Megalodons can't. It's a pretty big advantage. Oh, there's another. As far as I'm concerned, man, just gonna take out all the Bruces here. Suffice to say, if we can take down these Megalodons, we'll get some more loot. Remember, we're trying to find eggs. We're trying to hatch some. We're trying to get implants. We're trying to get materials. You know, one of the ways we get materials is by fighting things, killing them, and harvesting their corpses, because the corpses are valuable. We've never gotten a Megalodon corpse before, and after a suspiciously long number of time, looks like we can again get some more shagreen and maybe a Megalodon tooth. That red item and the blue item, it does seem just a massacre. Okay, so to me, if I see this many of a same type of beast kind of grouped up, shark tooth, very nice, then I'm thinking to myself, see, it says right there, Megalodon Gamma Tier DNA. So I know if I want to make a Gamma Tier saddle, I now have an item that I can at least reactivate a Gamma Tier implant for the Gamma Tier saddle. And this turned out to be an Alpha Lead Sickness, which has an Alpha Lead Sickness Blubber, which is an Alpha Tier DNA. This is awesome. I wonder if the Megalodons killed it for me. Thanks. Now, there was a Carno that was kind of behind us in the water that the Parasaurs, again, were panicking about. So we just kind of left, and then this happened. Why? What did we do to you? The Triceratops gang is intense. But I found out, if you have enough oxygen and stamina, they're not very good at fighting underwater. We definitely have the advantage here. We should have taken advantage of that earlier. Hey, that alpha creature, okay, you're not going to believe this. No dolphins still. No dolphins, but these guys. These are the worst. You see these guys in the water, you're probably dead. And just around the corner, you see it. Not the lead sickness, but the wild Mosa. Yeah, there's a mosasaur, right? This isn't very deep. We are like right next to the shore. I really thought that we'd find some dolphins here, and the answer is no. We found absolutely no dolphins. Now, we have gotten loot from the Allosaurus, that Allosaurus brain. We have got loot from the Stegosauruses. We have managed to get some loot from Megalodons. Like, we've been productive, we've been successful, but the loot doesn't really do anything for us unless we have a tame to put the saddle onto. So it's kind of like a coin flip. This might pay off later, but for now it's a little frustrating to say the absolute least. And I got to tell you, if you haven't played ARK and you aren't familiar with overhaul mods, do you see the Shagreen again? But do you see on our left there? Look at this. Dolphins. They're coming right for us. Oh yeah, now we're talking. But the facts are, if you haven't played overhaul mods, you haven't played ARK, it's tough to describe just how scary it is in the water, especially because the dolphins are trying to kill us right now. They don't know it, but they're knocking us down. We couldn't harvest the resource, and we're running out of oxygen. And you know, in our world, you know, here face to face in real life, the dolphins, bottlenose dolphins, not very friendly creatures, and I'm really experiencing some of that right now. They're actually actively trying to kill me. I mean, they're not, right? They're just kind of like, hey, give us some food. And this is when I have to say thank you so much to Mimi for saving me here. I joined the Hunted Discord. There was a Discord. It's linked on the Steam Mods Workshop page, not the community Discord here for the channel, but specifically for the Hunted mod. And I said, hey, I've been in the water forever, and there's no dolphin nest, and I can't passive tame any of these dolphins. I've been in the water literally forever, and it's terrifying, okay? And things mostly just go bad to worse. And Mimi came in and said, yeah, they don't lay a nest. Oh my goodness. Saved me from myself. But facts are, you can't passive tame adults. Remember, in the Hunted mod, you need to find kind of a baby. So I followed these dolphins around kind of forever. And that's the biggest understatement. And I just left the game, downloaded a creature finder mod, and there's not a single non-adult dolphin on the entirety of the map. I could not believe this. I could have searched all the waters everywhere and never found a dolphin to tame. I, like, beyond frustrated at this point, closed my game, went to bed. Like, you would not believe this. So, the good news is, we got some loot. The better news is, there's a drop. We've got to keep farming these drops. We need to get into these loot drops, these beacons, because they consistently have implants in them. This is such a safe, good, clear-cut way to get implants, but of course it's all the way back across the water, and there's going to be a parasaur that'll panic. But here in the green drop, you can see we can get another implant, which is awesome. Now, the other thing we can do is we can try and then swim back to get another drop. And then it turns out that out of nowhere, a baryonyx will come, stun us, kill us. Then our game will crash. We will load back into no drop, but a dead baryonyx, and we'll harvest the claws. This is just the wildest series of events. I'm not going to say it twice. You're going to have to play that one again. That's what happened. Literally. And then I tried to get back across again, and the dolphins had killed an Allosaurus, I think. It doesn't look like it drowned. And then they tried to kill me again. They just keep knocking me down. There's just so mmany of them. I never got to really harvest Allosaurus peacefully. So, as always, we've been hunted by literally everything always. It's kind of exhausting. We found an egg, though. It's just not fertilized or in a nest, and probably upset that little bird. Sorry, little Hesperornis. Or we might eat this. But now we can maybe make some kibble since we finally found an egg. I just can't believe that almost back to base RG. I'm too scared. There's no way we don't start a fight with this RG because it's going to start a fight with us. So we're going to hide behind the spikes and take it down from the maximum distance. And of course, we need to keep harvesting these corpses. You're going to get over encumbered. It is just so tough to try and be productive because everything's heavy. We're going to get feathers, RG talons, you need metal tools, we're going to get the hide, but we almost made it back to base. I've never played a mod or spent so much time on ARK to feel like I got nothing done. I'm going to show you this. I'm not saying you need to do this, you want to do this, but there is a mod. It's called the upgrade station, okay? And what it does is it lets you upgrade your gear. So here we have a piece of ghillie, and it only has 40 armor. We upgrade it once, now it goes up to, you know, almost 60, almost 100. Now it has more armor than the metal armor we have on, and I think it's going to be worth wearing the ghillie. I'm going to show you my current setup. This might just be far too overpowered. I might have just too many points into things. I might have unbalanced the mod in some way. However, this is what I'm rocking right now, the full ghillie. We're going to keep the ghillie on for the rest of the series unless I say otherwise. I think I might take some of the armor out of it. We will keep the cosmetic of that raptor outfit on. I think it looks fantastic, but we're going ghillie. Why ghillie? Well, here's the thing. The ghillie suit is supposed to make you harder to detect. There's nothing around here. We've been here for a couple of minutes. Nothing's aggressive toward us. Nothing should be able to see us. There's nothing behind us. We are wearing a lot of armor, but we're getting better at like going, that log looks suspicious. Okay, that log looks suspicious. Okay, are these really a nest? You know, the more time we spend in the mod, the quicker we go, that might be a nest. Now notice here, right now we're dead. We're nowhere near base. There's no way we beat this Packy Rhino. But because we've upgraded our armor, because we have that no durability armor on, we're able to just face tank this. And maybe for you, that's just unrealistic. For me, this just saved me like 2 hours of getting back to where I am and rebuilding my armor. But suffice to say, it's part of why we've kind of superpowered ourselves at this point. It feels just almost a little too strong. However, we need to get those eggs in those nests. Now there's stegos down here, so I'm hoping it's a stego nest, right? But there's 2 of them, and the logs are clearly different, and I'm really hoping they're nests, but we won't know until we go down there. And if we go down there now, stegos are gonna run us down. Yes, we have an equius, but I'm not ready to lose the horse, okay? It's a good horse. I'm gonna name it Charlie if no one gives me a good horse name. Oh boy. Listen, look what we found. It is a nest, a Dimorphodon nest. This is a great find. But the eggs are teeny tiny. Like, they are so hard to see. Do you see it? Like, I oftentimes run around with my interface off because I find it distracting. I like the very slim look. There's also a Mosachops nest. Notice they all have their own unique collectibles inside of these nests and a Microraptor. Awesome. I don't know if we're gonna harvest that, but again, look how tiny these eggs are. You could walk right by them, nest or no nest. I mean, they're small until you get kind of on top of them. The interface doesn't turn up. Can you even see it? Like, if I don't have the spyglass out or the interface pull up, I mean, they're just about invisible, right? I'm telling you what, it's hard. It's just hard. And there wasn't a single stego nest. Now, we did get jumped by a little Dilophosaurus, and they do have some venom. Again, I think you're going to need metal tools to get that. And then, of course, we ain't got an RG because why? Where did you come from? Like, there's only just one RG. No one else. Literally nothing else. Now, the 2 eggs we got, not the Mosachops, another Dilophosaurus. Maybe there's a Dilophosaurus nest around here. I don't know. There's a lot of Dillos in here. The Microraptor and the Dimorphodon are both great pickups. If we can get a couple more of those eggs, then did you even see what we were shooting at? It was the Dilophosaurus. You know, if we can get a couple more of those eggs, we could probably whistle them to attack something, get a couple of them breeding. That would be pretty good. Here's the thing. Can you feel it? Something's hunting us right now. I can't see it. I can't hear it. I can't smell it. I just know that I'm being hunted by something. I don't know what it is, but I have this feeling that, like, here it comes. It's just a long feeling. I'm telling you, like, something's hunting us. And turns out we were being hunted by a Troodon and a wolf and more Dillos. It just, they come out of nowhere. We shoot them, they die. It's not super exciting, but it was a feeling I had, right? Like, something's around this corner. We need to test out our ghillie a little more, right? When we're not openly firing on things. And I found a whole bunch of Dimorphodons just flying around the trees. And I thought they must have a nest around here, like a bunch of Dimorphodons. But again, I remember I said earlier, we spent a lot of time just kind of hiding in bushes looking. there's these raptors and these diplodocuses going crazy. I watched the raptors pretty much just massacre the couple of dimorphodons, and then they got in a fight with the diplodocuses, and they're all just going crazy. Just going wild. But that's a level 240 raptor, and it's mate boosted, so we know there's another around. It's a little much for us, okay? So we're just kind of being patient and seeing who's going to kill who. But there's a Pachyrhinoceros, not a Pachyrhinoceros, just a Pachy, the other Pachy, okay? It's just dangerous. We want the nest, we want the eggs, but when's the good time to go? I think this is our moment. They've pulled a little closer to the water, so we're gonna go for it. But we didn't ever really catch the nest in our variable zoom spyglass, and this is a raptor nesting ground, so we're gonna try and clear some things out. Hopefully that Dimorphodon doesn't attack us, but being in a raptor nesting ground, a bola will probably serve us better. We don't know what this nest really looks like. We didn't get a good eye on it, but we just saw like 10 or 12 Dimorphodons kind of flying around a tree right where we are right now. So they have to have a nest around here. I mean, why else would there be so many Dimorphodons? And it is something we can hatch. Here it is, that weird looking log. I'm hoping the more you see these nests and the drops that it really helps you out going, oh, that's a nest. Because I got to tell you, it just wasn't immediately obvious to me. That being said, until we destroy the nest, we don't find the egg. The egg was just completely hidden underneath. Not a big deal. We always want to be destroying nests once we collect their stuff and find them. Now, here's the thing. I don't think they were aggressive to us simply because they were just in fights. I really think the ghillie suit is actually the way to go. Even if you have less armor, we're going to give it a little test run here. We're going to see just how good our ghillie suit is. How close do you think we can get to the trikes? I picked the Triceratops for this reason. There's some Triceratops down here. There's some of the Pachyrhinoceroses. There's an RG in the air, and they've been hyper aggressive. They've been aggressive at distances beyond what I would ever think something should be aggressive to me at. And maybe it hasn't noticed this yet, but we've got to be like setting off major like trike alarms. Like the trike, I know the trike wants to just beat us up, okay? I know they have a vengeance. We haven't done anything to I mean, we have, but we've not been the aggressor here, okay? I will stand by that for the moment at least. Now, there's a Pachyrhinoceros behind us up there. We're actually like more than, like we're way too close. Like normally by now they would have definitely been aggressive to us, and we're just getting closer. And this is as good as it's going to get for confirmation that a full ghillie suit is the way to go. Of course, somehow, for some reason, if you wear ghillie, you can't open your map without just having an upsetting map because the ghillie suit goes through it. So again, big win for having the raptor suit. And there's a rhino right behind us. It's not a rhino, a Triceratops. It's not aggressive to us. We are like so close to these things. You know there's going to be a nest around here. But I love this herding behavior. I love to see them just kind of hanging out, doing their thing. We're as close as we can possibly get. There's RGs right above us. Ghillie suit for the win. Go ghillie suit, definitively. Even if you have to wear less armor, I mean, we are like on top of these things. Probably within 4 to 10 foundations from both of them, staring right at us, and they haven't even noticed us yet. Like, this is awesome. Like, not just seeing them kind of hang out and do their own unique animations, but it's got to be able to see us. There it goes. Okay, we're out of here. All right, bye. Sorry, we're just visiting. We don't want your eggs. We're not after your stuff. You can keep your Lucky Charms. So far, so good. Yeah, we've really upset everyone. Okay, well, happens to the best of us. What can I... Oh, wow, he got us right off the rock. Again, and there's why we added extra armor. I just can't afford to die this far from base. We'll never get back to our stuff. Climb the cliff, you silly four-legged Triceratops. Should be safe up here. Should be good for now. If you learned something or enjoyed this video, share with a friend. If you are new here, subscribe now. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks.